Your higher self already exists, and all you need to do is get into alignment with her. In my previous videos, I mentioned that you know exactly how your higher self acts. You know the actions that she does and what she does and how she acts. You just aren't embodying her because you have some sort of blocks. And then in the second video in the series, I mentioned what exactly those blocks are, what is blocking you. We went over that in the previous videos. So if you haven't watched those, I highly recommend you do watch them in order, because then this video will make a whole lot more sense. But if not, I will have them linked for you in the description so you can have easy access to watching those videos so that you're all caught up. But now that we know what annoying thing is constantly keeping us going in circles, okay, that subconscious mind has us stuck being our familiar selves. And we now know that we need to do some reprogramming so that we can get our mind back on track and forget all of those negative things that we learned so that we can step into alignment with our higher selves. We are going to go over that in this video. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to reprogram your mind so that you can be closer to aligning with your higher self. Your subconscious mind is keeping you stuck because it wants to protect you and keep you in this familiar bubble where it knows exactly what your identity is. But in order to become your higher self, you need to change your identity. So how am I going to stop my mind from pushing the brakes every time I go to do the thing that my higher self would do? Like I mentioned before, you will be on your way to being your highest self and trying to embody her and think like her and do the things that she would do. And then your subconscious mind steps in and it's like, no, you want to go to the gym? How about I push this button that tells her mind that she'll just start on Monday, and then Monday comes and then she'll start when it's a sunny day because Monday was raining. Or she ordered some really cute clothes on Amazon to go to the gym, and so we'll wait till that comes in, and then that comes in and we didn't like it. So then when we return it, then we'll get back to the higher self. Your mind just keeps pushing these buttons that produces thoughts that know it's gonna make you revert and stay inside your familiar bubble. So I'm gonna tell you the 3 biggest things that I did that were honestly very easy to removing those blocks out of my way so that when I go to embody my higher self, I have nothing blocking me, nothing is in my way, and I can step into alignment with her. Because I did not just become her by accident, I became her using these very 3 simple things. Those 3 things would be introspection / shadow work, affirmations, and meditation. These things are things that you probably have heard of just about 1,000 times, and you probably ignore them because your subconscious mind probably made you want to ignore them, okay? When something sounds so easy, your mind is like, no, that can't be too easy, because if it's too easy, then that's gonna apply to a change, and we wanna stay in that familiar bubble that I keep mentioning. In order to get to your higher self, you have to figure out what is the version of you that you are currently. What is the way that she's thinking? What are the actions that she's taking? What is the things that she's doing in the first place? So we're gonna start with introspection / shadow work. They're kind of intertwined things. Shadow work is one of the things that I avoided for the longest time, but now that I know it was not me avoiding it, it was my subconscious mind that was like, if she does this thing called shadow work, she might actually glow up and change, and that's unfamiliar. We want to keep her in her stupid, annoying bubble. So I avoided it. I would be like, I don't need to do shadow work. I'm just gonna do more action. I got nowhere reaching my higher self doing this. So my favorite way to do shadow work / introspection is by journaling, okay? I don't just think about what's wrong with me and then try to think about the solution in my head. You need to get a pen and paper in a notebook and write this down. Not the notes app on your phone, not digitally on some sort of cute template. You can do it that way, but ideally, if you watch another video that I've made about the power of journaling, I go into all the reasons why you should write things down physically on paper. But if you don't want to do that, at least you'll be closer somewhere and moving the pen a little bit closer, at least maybe in the notes of your phone. But I highly suggest with a pen and paper journaling. And you are going to have a very serious talk with yourself. So you start by journaling and you write some really real questions with raw answers. Okay, you're not talking to anybody. You're not talking to a therapist. You're not talking to a friend who you're trying to, dance around your issues to kind of make them seem lighthearted and cute and quirky. Like, you can get real serious and be very raw with you because it's you and you can trust you with all of your thoughts. I feel like this is a lot harder for people because you don't want to actually like confront those darker, deeper parts of yourself that you usually push in the back of your mind. They're in the back of your mind for a reason. But it's bringing those shadowy parts of yourself to the light so that they cannot hide anymore. That is going to cause major change. So one of the things that I realized that I'll share with you that I noticed about myself because of introspection was why wasn't I being consistent? Like, why every time I try to show up to be consistent, do I back out and go back inside where I was going to go somewhere? So I realized I'm so impulsive. And like I knew this about myself, but I didn't really tie impulsivity with consistency. And I discovered this self with shadow work, with journaling, with introspection. So I would write down no, because like why actually do I keep going in circles over and over and over again? I want to get up early. I want to do the gym routine. I want to do all of the higher self things, but I'm not doing it. Why? I'm so impulsive. I spend so much time online constantly looking at different kinds of workouts, right? So I would be like, oh my God, I'm going to try that the next time I'm in the gym. Oh my God, I heard getting 8 hours of sleep is not as good. I heard you need 10. Oh, actually, I heard on another day that you need 6 hours. So I'll try the 6 hours. That is no way to have a consistent routine. It's constantly, impulsively hearing good advice that if you can hear a million different truths proven logically in so many different ways, and so that can pull you in so many different directions. So I would be attempting all of these new routines all at once, and that would make me extremely inconsistent. I can't wake up at 6 and 8 and 10 hours in the same night. That's not possible. I would try it one day and then another routine the next day. Oh, I heard, getting up at this time is ideal. No, getting up at that time is really bad. And you just hear so many different opposing things online and just from people in all of your life, and you want to do the best thing you possibly can. And so you may think that you're doing something very good for yourself, which I thought I was, but that was making me and contributing to my issue with being inconsistent, was being impulsive. And I literally got to the bottom of that by sitting down in my journal and being like, okay, what happened last week? Like I was supposed to be consistent in the gym. Oh, well, I tried that one routine and then I tried the other routine and then I was like, wait. I do this a lot, and I realize in all aspects of my life where I do that a lot. Okay, with diets, with exercise, trying all different kinds of, you want to try all the different kinds of workout. I want to try HIIT workout classes, Pilates, weightlifting, no walking, no 12-3-30, no Stairmaster, no not Stairmaster, and it just had me going in circles. But I did not immediately tie consistency with my impulsivity in that way. So when you get to journaling, you're going to ask yourself, which I will leave some shadow work prompts for you. I'll just make some and I'll put some in the descriptions for you. Maybe like a PDF that you can download and like have when you get started on your journaling, shadow work, introspection journey, so that you can really get to the bottom of yourself, and I'll help you along the way with that. That's where you get to the meat and potato, the why you're doing what you're doing anyways. So because I was able to discover that with journaling, then I was able to stop absorbing. I would limit the time I was on my phone completely and just limit advice. And if I were to hear something that sounded like a really good idea, like you shouldn't get 8 hours, you should get 6 hours, or you should get 10 hours, I would be like, I'm gonna get whatever many hours I need, okay, for the schedule that I'm trying to be on, etc. I wouldn't really take too much advice or impulsively listen to things or buy things because it was constantly getting me off track. And so here is where affirmations come in. So after you get through all this really good stuff, okay, you're like connecting the dots of your own mind and your own self. Now we need to reprogram the mind with affirmations. Is that a shock? Is that a shock to you that I said affirmations? Because if you're new here, you may not know, but if you've been subscribed to me, you know that I don't ever shut up about affirmations, and it is for a reason. And affirmations sound like a bunch of fluff. Okay, they sound like, at first they sound like such fluffy, like, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am kind. And it just sounds kind of just like you're saying these things out loud, but you don't even resonate with them. So they just feel kind of silly. Listen, you are reprogramming your inner dialogue. Okay, so when I say that the subconscious mind is constantly throwing breaks at you and keeping you in a bubble, it's because it needs to receive new information and a new identity so that it has no blocks to put in your way. So if my subconscious mind believes that I am impulsive, anytime I go to make an impulsive decision, it has all the doors open for me because it's like, that's who you are, that's who we are, that's your identity. I have to give it new commands. Like I told you before, you have to reprogram it, which means you have to write a new computer program that says, if such and such thing happens, then this is the new output. I literally used to code, so I know exactly what writing a command like that would look like. When you try to do the self-sabotage, your brain is absolutely going to push all the buttons that support that. They're gonna be like, yes, stay sleeping for another 30 minutes. Like, you deserve it. The bed is so comfy. Life is short. YOLO. When you go to eat that unhealthy food, it's going to tell you, we'll just work out extra hard tomorrow. Even though you're probably not. It's going to tell you, we're just going to work out really hard tomorrow and you'll burn the excess calories off. Or when you go to wake up, it's good. You know, all of those things. And so when you decide instead to give it new programs, it's gonna have a new identity. And so when you go to show up to be consistent, instead of it being like, no, we're not doing that, it's gonna be like, oh yes, we are. Because every day you've been writing and telling yourself over and over and over again, I am consistent. That's its new identity. That's what your subconscious mind is absorbing now. It's hearing, I am consistent. So when you go to show up and be consistent, it's not going to throw anything in your way. It will feel challenging and unfamiliar at first because it's a new habit at the end of the day that you're trying to build, but it's going to have such a lessened amount of resistance. I felt myself getting closer and closer and closer into alignment with my higher self once I started affirming new beliefs, because my subconscious mind would hear that. So you're going to pair this with your journaling. So whatever you discover from yourself, from your journaling, you are now going to use that in your affirmations. You're not just gonna listen to some random affirmations that you hear online. You have to tailor them specifically to you. I will give you very good affirmations that are very useful in this journey, along with the ShadowWork prompts, so that you can be off to like a really good start and have like something tangible to work with in the beginning. I will leave that in the description for you. I'll make like a cute little downloadable like PDF for you. But you have to tailor your affirmations to yourself. So, for example, for me, I'm very impulsive. That's what I know about myself. My impulsivity ruined my consistency. I know that about myself now. I discovered that in my introspection, in my shadow work. So now when I would go to write affirmations, writing them, not just saying them, writing them, thinking them, feeling them, I would write, I am patient. What is like the opposite of impulsivity is having patience. I am patient. I am consistent. I am consistent is one of the affirmations that I wrote almost every day for like a month straight, and then I didn't have to worry about consistency ever again after that. I'm a consistent girl, and I can say that with my whole chest now. I would throw in, of course, any affirmations of any attributes that I thought would really help myself. I am confident, I am consistent, and I hear and receive valuable information. I take it with a grain of salt and only use what genuinely applies to me. That is very specific to a very impulsive person. That is not just some random affirmation of I am strong, I am beautiful. I would write things like I'm strong and beautiful as well, because I want those things to seep into my subconscious mind, but I wouldn't focus too much on just generic affirmations. I would really make sure that they aligned truly with what my soul was needing. The more you repeat these affirmations, the more you think about them throughout the day, not just write them once and be done with it, the more they seep into your subconscious mind, okay? It takes about 21 days for your subconscious mind to really receive that reprogramming. But honestly, if I'm being very, very honest, I feel like I felt that in a shorter amount of time. That's just me. I'm not gonna argue with science, but the second I kept writing, I'm consistent, I got more and more like desire to show up the next day and write it again and do it again. And that was consistency in itself. So affirmations are reprogramming your mind, and they work especially well, not just when you're saying them out loud, but when you're saying them with intention. Okay, when you write, I'm consistent, you can just say, I'm consistent. I am consistent, okay? You have to feel that. Aside from feeling it, you have to like mentally rehearse, like, what am I doing when I'm being consistent? You think of that waking up every day. You think of that going to the gym every day. You think of that taking care of your skin and actually doing your skincare, not just saying, I'll just do it tomorrow. You do it every day. And of course, one of the biggest things that had me go into alignment with my higher self, okay, I literally felt so soul fulfilled during this, was during my meditations. You hear this all the time as well. Meditate, journal, affirmations, but why? What is the point? Why? What is sitting down, right, with my hands on my palms and my eyes closed, what is that possibly gonna do for me? And breathing. It sounds like whatever. It really does. If you don't know the meaning behind why you're supposed to be doing something, then you're not gonna be very motivated or care to do it. So let me explain to you why meditation is one of the best things that you can do as part of your aligning with your higher self journey. If anything, it's one of the most important things that I could have done to step into alignment with my higher self. But there's too much I have to say about meditation and how transformative it was for me. And so I will save that. Maybe, I don't know if it's for the next video in the series or the one after that, but I will be making another video on meditation and why meditation was one of the best things that could have ever literally happened to me. Not just for stepping into alignment with myself, but for disciplining myself. I met my higher self here. Like, I embodied her. Like, I had no doubts, no noise in my mind, no anything. I literally just opened my eyes one day. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm not trying to be her. I'm not pretending to be her. I embodied her. I feel like her. So if you would like, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you can be notified of when I upload the videos speaking about meditation. And I hope the information that I give to you in this video was not too much at once. I'm trying to make it very dissectable and very easy to understand so that you can be and feel just as motivated as I was when I started out in my higher self journey. But that is all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.